Welcome to the Confident Motherhood Podcast. I'm your host, Anne, mama of two, holistic pregnancy and pediatric sleep consultant, and the founder of Empowered Decisions. In our seasons together, I'm here to help you step into your inner confidence from pregnancy to motherhood. Whether you are preparing to meet your baby or integrating into new mom life, this is a safe space with education and support for your journey. Join me as we raise the vibe of our motherhood collective. Welcome back to the Confident Motherhood Podcast. I'm Anne, your holistic pregnancy and infant and toddler sleep coach and podcast host. And tonight we are talking about keeping a clean house. This is going to be mom edition, and this is going to be my take on how keeping a tidy house helps me with my energy. Now, this can be, more or less a hot topic, and I always see tons of content on social media about they're only little ones and, the dishes can wait, or the opposite end of that of like, you need to keep your house perfectly clean and organized and tidy. And there's a lot of information. Obviously, this is deeply personal about how you feel about your own house. But I wanted to kind of bring you into my journey with this and what has helped me in hopes that it can then help you. So I'm going to take it back to kind of growing up, because my mom 100% would describe my room growing up as like complete disaster, like clothes piled up on the floor. Like I just didn't care. It wasn't a priority of mine. But I think also in a way, I would get overwhelmed when clutter and clothes would start to pile, and then I would feel overwhelmed, almost like you don't know where to start, so you don't start at all. And I think that is a form of procrastination in a way, and a skill that I didn't learn until, in my 20s, my late 20s, I would say. I actually read the book. It's by Marie Kondo, and I'm going to probably mess up the title, but it's like the art of tidying sort of thing, where you break down all of your different things. So you separate by categories, right? Like your books and your shoes and your clothes, and you go through each item to decide if it brings you joy. If it does, you keep it and everything has a home. And if you don't, you give it thanks and you get rid of it, you donate it, whatnot. And I gutted my condo apartment at the time. And it really catapulted me into my journey with my home space. Now, fast forward becoming a mom, I think in a way, being a mom kind of forced me in a way to be more organized and desire to be tidy, because I didn't really feel that way for most of my life. Not that I was a slob and dirty, but I was messy, and the clutter didn't bother me like it impacts me now. And I think being a mom, our mental load and what we carry around on the day-to-day is wild. The list of to-dos, the things that we're constantly thinking about is a lot. And what I have found over the years, having one child and then having two children, is when my desk is a mess, my mind is a mess. When I walk downstairs and there's stuff everywhere, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated. I walk into the kitchen and there's things. It's just, again, those clothes start piling up in my mind as it's overwhelming and you feel like you don't want to start. Then depending on kind of where you're at in your month and your mood, there's some days that I want to tackle and throw away everything in my house and clean it. And there's other days that I'm like, I don't even have the energy for this right now. So I've had to essentially kind of adopt and switch it in my mind that I don't have to be cleaning all the time. But I work on this with my eldest mostly, but I have two sons, 3 and an almost 8-year-old, where we work on if everything has a home, then really what we just need to do is daily tidying. So I'm going to kick it off with laundry, for example. I pretty much do laundry every single day, but it's not a burden like it would have been years ago, where all of a sudden I got 5, 6, 7 loads of laundry to do because I haven't touched it in weeks. And mind you, small children go through a lot of clothes, whatnot. So I pretty much am always keeping the laundry moving, whether I'm putting something going or I'm switching the laundry, I'm hanging something up, or, folding the laundry, the boys' clothes, whatever it is. But when I do it in that way, it's little, it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, and it's not a burden. But that has taken me some time to get in the rhythm of just touch it, right? Go in there. So I think this is called habit stacking in a way, where in the mornings, before I allow myself to even come downstairs, I make sure to just pop into the laundry room and just see what's going on. Oh, yep, I need to swap this or do this, whatever it is. And sometimes, keeping it completely honest, sometimes you're like, oh, should I put that load washing and I forgot, and you got to run it again. I try to avoid that at all costs, but it happens, right? So none of this is ever about perfection, but those sorts of little habits that you can start implementing where you're like, okay, I just keep that moving. Now, I say this all the time. Anytime anybody comes in my home, I'm like, oh my God, kids live here, whatever. And I'm like, look, no, I may have just tidied before you just walked in this house, but I have 2 small children, and this house goes from disaster to clean multiple times a day. And I always try to work with my kids on like, okay, if we've been playing with this or doing this art project, let's clean this up before we move on to the next thing. Again, because I know I get overwhelmed and I can already see their little minds. We can't clean up this whole mess by ourselves. And then I help them with that process. So I think that just the word tidying has really helped me, but I am very hyper aware of how my energy shifts when there's too much clutter, there's too much mess. And there's always seasons of life, right? Anytime we travel for a weekend and we bring that luggage back and now it's okay, you've been gone for a few days, now there's extra laundry to do. That's life. And I don't let those things stress me out. And in those moments where I feel the overwhelm, I've seen this on social media before where they'll be like, I am not being chased by a bear or a lion. It's just the dishes, or it's just my toddler having a flip out moment because I cut his banana wrong, right? So it's like I'm hyper aware of how quickly our nervous systems can get dysregulated by things. And I used to very much be, my self-worth was attached to my productivity, right? And keeping a tidy house or doing work or laundry or whatever it is. Sometimes at the end of the day, I used to go through this checklist in my mind of all the things that I'd done to be like, great, okay, today was a good day. But if I had days where I was more low key or I needed to rest, then in my mind, those weren't good days. Those weren't productive days. Like I wasn't valuing myself in those days. And I think that is a slippery slope for us as moms because we weren't always raised in a society that valued rest, that valued us pouring into ourselves, allowing the slowdown and the reset. And really, that is so necessary. So I share this. I hope that this in a way kind of allows you to also, one, find whatever works for you. What works for me doesn't have to work for you. But I think things like habit stacking and creating some new routines, and don't go create like everything overnight because that's not always sustainable, but you can do it piece by piece. I think oftentimes it's just kind of like auditing your life to be like, what is working right now and what is not working for me right now? What am I really like excelling at when it comes to like the house or whatever? And what is just bogging me down when it comes to cleaning, whatever? And just start slow, because as you start building those new routines and creating, that's where it makes the shifts. So I always keep my focus on, one, I want my boys, my young boys, to know that tidying and cleaning isn't just mommy's job, right? And you're helping me. That also is going to be a topic for another day about how I choose to communicate with my male children. But this is just about a team, and we live in a house and we're a team and we have to tidy. And I tell them sometimes people are like, I don't want to clean up. And I'm like, me either, dude. Me either, but let's just do it, because when we tidy, whether it's 5, 10, or 15 minutes, sometimes you get in the momentum, you're like, okay, actually, let me go clean this or clean that. But it is an energy shift in the house. And that's where I keep my focus. It's not that the laundry has to be perfect and the kitchen has to be perfect and everything has to be tidy all the time. But when the house is more clear, I feel more mental clarity. I feel more at ease. I'm like, hey, let's go play. Let's go do this. Let's go cook dinner. Let's go whatever, whether we're doing homeschool or I need to work or whatever. Everything is easier when that energy has been created in the house and it's all about tidying versus constantly cleaning. Because I think mom life oftentimes is cleaning up the same effing mess over and over and over again, but that can be really frustrating. And I've definitely had seasons of motherhood where I'm really frustrated by that it just feels like this endless cycle. So using words like tidy or tidying, or being like, I get to help my small children with this skill in tidying and picking up their toys and whatever. So I think a lot of mindset and mental shifts have helped me over the years, and I'm almost 8 years deep in the mom game, but I really hope that this helps you too, that your productivity is not tied to how clean your house is. It is not attached to your self-worth, and just find rhythms and routines that work for you. So I hope this little short episode was helpful. And until the next episode, lots of love. Whether you're a tired mom struggling with your little one's sleep, or an expecting mom looking for empowerment and advocacy as you prepare for birth, I'm here to show up for you with proven strategies and education to elevate your journey. You deserve to feel heard and given the tools to have success. Mama, you do not have to navigate your pregnancy or sleep struggles alone. Head over to empoweredwithann.com to discover how we can support you. Confidence, empowerment, and peace are just a click away.